Hey guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. Today's video is how to make a triangular prism. You can either make this solid or turn it into a box, and I'll show you how to do both today. Okay, now we're going to start with a 2-inch equilateral triangle. Now I'm going to assume that you've already seen my video on how to make equilateral triangle templates, and if you haven't, I will link to it on the card, which is the little eye in the upper right hand corner, and I'll also put a link to that video in the description box as well. You do need an equilateral triangle for this one. And in that video I make a 4-inch equilateral triangle, but you just change it into a 2-inch by holding up your compass to a 2-inch line segment instead of a 4, and again you'll see all the details to that in the template video. Okay, so I'm assuming you have a 2-inch equilateral triangle template. Okay, so once you've got your template, you'll need some paper that will make your triangles on, and essentially you need a paper that's big enough to have the triangle and then like I'd say about a 1/2 inch space all the way around the triangle. And then you'll need 2 of those, so you need to make sure that it's big enough to accommodate that size. And then you'll need a rectangle that is cut into the following size: 6 1/2 inches or 16 1/2 centimeter by 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And both of these papers should be cardstock weight or even a little bit heavier, especially if you want to make a box. So first we'll make our end pieces of our box, which is essentially a triangle with 3 tabs on it. And I find that the easiest way to do that is to trace your triangle. Now I would use a pencil for this, but I'm using a black pen so that you can actually see my lines because it's video. But as I said, if I were making this as a gift or something, I would use a pencil so that you can erase the lines. So you trace the triangle and then take your straight edge. It doesn't have to be a ruler in this case because we're not really measuring, we're sort of guessing. I'm going to line that straight edge up so that this line that I'm drawing along is not only on the point at one point of the triangle, it's also parallel to the line on the other side. So even if you're not using a ruler, it does help to have a skinny straight edge so that you can see that line on the other side. And then just draw a short little line. So it basically looks like you've got a line balancing on the top of your triangle. And then we're going to do that on all 3 sides. So once again, lining where you're drawing up with the point of one of your triangles, and then line it up with parallel to the opposite side and draw a little line. And do that with the 3rd one as well. And there you go. Now to complete your end piece, you're just going to connect those 2 lines so that you get a tab that's as big as you like, and that straight line is also parallel to the edge of your triangle. There you go. And parallel means having 2 lines that if they were to go on forever, they would never intersect and they would never veer away from each other. They're kind of like train tracks. Okay? And then we're just going to do the same thing on the other 2 sides. Now when you're determining how big you want the tabs to be, keep in mind that that's where you're going to be applying your adhesive to stick it to your box. So if you need it to be super sturdy, you want these tabs to be a little bit longer. But if you're just using it, as a box, maybe to put some candy in or something, a tab similar to the size that you see here would be perfect. And then you're just going to make 1 more of those. Now once you've made that original one, you could photocopy it onto cardstock if you have a photocopier available to you. You certainly don't need to do this whole measuring thing a whole bunch of times, as long as you're happy having a photocopied image, perhaps on the inside of your box. That is totally possible. All right, so I'm just going to finish this and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Finished the two end pieces. You can see one of the tabs is a little bit bigger than the other one, but I'll just trim that off when I cut it out. It's no big deal. Now I have been thinking about this recently, and I would love to have your feedback. I was actually thinking of creating some sort of a PDF document that you could purchase off of my Origami Twist channel so that you don't have to go through the process of creating all of these templates and things. They're just printable. If that's something that you would like to have available, it would probably be in a collection of some sort. So it would be, you know, every single box that I've personally designed over the past, you know, since I've started my channel, all together in one collection. And it would be a certain amount of money. You could print it out for your own personal use. If that's something that would be helpful for you, please let me know in the description box below. And in the meantime, if you need tea bag folding tiles, I have those for sale already. That's at origamitwist.com. And yeah, let me know what you think, if that's something that you would like. In the meantime, let's keep creating these boxes. So I've got the two end pieces, and now I'm going to work on the body of the box. And as I said earlier, it's 4 inches or 10 centimeters by 6.5 inches or 16 and a bit centimeters. I'm using my Stampin' Up! Scoring board to do the scoring today. If you would like a video on how to do the scoring without a scoring board, I would be happy to create that for you. It would be a generic how to do scoring video. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. And in the meantime, I'll just show you how to do it using the scoreboard. Okay, so I have held the paper up in the corner of the scoreboard, and it's the long way at the top and the short way going down the side. So the 6.5 inches are up here, 4 inches down here. I'm going to score at 2 inches, and then I'm going to score at 4 inches, and then I'm going to score again at 6 inches. If you're scoring in centimeters, you'll be scoring at 5, 10, and 15 centimeters. And it's important that you do it in that order because the 16 and a bit would make this tab slightly off. So you don't want to do the tab measurement first because then your last rectangle will be off. So definitely do it in the 2, 4, 6 order or the 5, 10, 15 centimeter order. It's not quite as important with the inches, but it will make a difference if you're doing it in centimeters. Now go ahead and cut out your triangle end pieces. And you've got a couple of choices once you cut them out for scoring. You can either take your straight edge and a scoring tool and then just run your scoring tool along them. Or if you have a scoring board, all you have to do is line up that line that you want to score on with the groove on the scoring board. So you want to make sure the bottom and the top of it are lined up and then just score along. And do that on all 6 drawn lines. Now, once all of your pieces are cut and scored, you may want to erase the pencil lines. I, again, used a pen here, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make sure they're on the inside. And I'm going to fold along all of the score lines. And with the rectangle side and even with the end pieces, make sure that the side that you want facing out is on the outside of your fold. And then pick your adhesive of choice. I'm using double-sided Express-It tape just because it's quicker and easier for video, but you could use liquid adhesive if you wanted to. If you're using double-sided tape, make sure that the tape is right up against the edge of that fold, and that will create a nice glued down line when you go to apply it. Now, if you're making this into a solid shape, put adhesive on all 3 sides of your triangle ends. However, if you're turning it into a box, only put it on 2 of the sides. Okay, now to assemble the box. You're going to take one of your triangles that has adhesive on it, and if you're doing a box and not a solid shape, you want to have the other edge of your triangle that has adhesive on it as the next one if you are going clockwise. So this one up here on the right has no adhesive on it. And that's so that when we line it up, these 2 pieces here will have adhesive and this one will be your top. And that's important because your tab is at that end. So go ahead and take your first 2-inch length and apply your end piece to it. And press down. And if you're using glue, let it dry for a moment and then go on to the next side, making sure it's nice and lined up. And then leave the other side for now if you're doing a box. And if you're not doing a box, go ahead and tuck that tab in and have the last piece glue on, and you can actually insert your fingers or a pen into the other side to press that tab down. And if you're just doing it as a box, leave that open. And then we'll apply the same on the other side. So this time, adhesive on this side, adhesive on this side, and then leave this side open if you're doing a box. And apply, and then put the two together and do the same on the other side. Nice and neat, and pressing down. Let it dry for a little while if you're doing a liquid adhesive. And then all you have left to do is tuck the lid in. Now you may find that it's a bit challenging to do so because this end tab is the same exact dimension as this end, which means that the width of the paper is preventing it from going in neatly. So we do need to trim a little bit off the sides, just slightly, just enough to get it to fit in the box. Just a little more than the width of the paper. And if you're doing a box, and you've got a little circle punch, it might be nice to punch out a little half circle from the end of that. That gives you a little thumb grip. It's not imperative, and you can use scissors to make that, but it's an option just to neaten it up a bit. And then make sure your tabs are folded in and the lid can easily tuck inside. Now, if you're doing this as a solid shape, you'd also want to glue here and tuck in your tab and glue along the tab as well. I think this one would make a great gift box. The triangular prism is a really fun shape, and I hope you make a whole bunch of them. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today, guys, and we'll see you again on Wednesday. Now, I do want to note that I will be doing a video soon about ways to use the stamp embossing that I taught the other day with the tissue paper or the tissues. That will be coming either this week or possibly next week. So if you asked for that, it is coming soon, and I really appreciate your watching the video. All right, thanks guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Take care.